I talked to a lot of executives, and a lot of them have moved to Canada with their business. They've moved to the UK, they've moved to Puerto Rico, they've moved to El Salvador, simply because the regulations here were either unfavorable or they were so confusing they just didn't want issues with the SEC, because the SEC has been suing almost every company out there and then don't even give a good explanation on what is a security versus a commodity. And there's been so much like confusion in America for some years now that a lot of the executives, they just go overseas. So that's millions, if not billions and billions of dollars going overseas that America's losing out on. And they're losing out on a lot of tax money from these companies going overseas. So they want big business to stay here. They want the money to stay here. It's just, how do they do it? And in the government's eyes, how can they maximize their profits from keeping the business here?
Because I just, like, organizations like the Texas Blockchain Council, right? I know that they get it.
Yeah,
right.
Lee Bratcher. Shout out to Lee Bratcher. He's a good guy.
I know that they get it. I met some folks from there in 2022. I know that they get it because there's a lot of mining that goes on in Texas.
Correct.
There was a lot of mining that was going on here in Washington because of the cheaper electricity prices.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think that it's a shame that our legislators have taken this long to really pay attention to it, in the sense of having something that's pro crypto, and not just pro crypto from a financial basis, but pro crypto, pro blockchain as an industry, as a technology. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm probably a little jaded towards our legislators.
They don't understand it.
Yeah, they don't understand it. And you've seen me advocate for lobbying our politicians and other crypto groups I'm glad that we have organizations like I Stand With Crypto, but I've been talking about lobbying politicians for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm glad that we got people like yourself who understand the nitty-gritty of these regulations and how they apply and how we can be protected. Because, man, that's one thing now about crypto, is like the Wild West, and it's becoming more civilized, slightly. But yeah. So we've gone over the IR, you said 2024-28. Revenue regulation?
Revenue procedure 2024-28.
-28. Okay. Is there anything else that you feel people should know?
So from a tax perspective, that's the main one
Okay.
that's coming out. Everything else is pretty much the same. If you earn crypto, that's considered revenue. You never have to report how much crypto that you own, but you still have to report the US dollar amounts that you earned in crypto. And you also want to make sure you keep track of the cost basis. That is the biggest thing. If there's anything else that I stress to you, I will go back in time to all the crypto transactions that you've ever done and try to keep them organized. I know that might be a tall task, especially for people who have been in DeFi. However, I'd highly recommend it. And I know it's also difficult because you have some people who lost their money on like a FTX or Celsius.
Yeah.
And they can't even get those transactions back.
Yeah.
Who has those transactions?
Who?
The IRS.
That's my point, is that the IRS has access to this information, and it's like, just even if you weren't in crypto, they know how much you've made from your job. They know how
From
much
your job.
from your job. They may not know how much you've made outside of that, but they have. And if you report the wrong thing accidentally, that opens you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say this for all those who file their taxes, and I know this sounds crazy, but it's actually the truth. April 15th might be the deadline, but the IRS doesn't release your wage and income transcripts until late May, early June. Your wage and income transcript is basically your cheat sheet to see whatever the IRS sees. So if you're ever trying to make sure that you don't mess up on your taxes, just file an extension, wait till your wage and income transcripts come out, and make sure that whatever you report is similar, accurate to that.
It's not a fun experience of having somebody look through your finances. And Look through all of that.
I don't make the rules. I'm not the
Jeez
IRS.
Louise.
I'm the one who's trying to make sure that your life is a lot